So I've seen a few questions on how to solve this problem, and really it looks like all the difficulty we're having lies in how we put it in our calculator. So the problem says, after declining between 1940 and 1980, the number of multi-generational households has been increasing since 1980. The function h of x equals 0.012x squared minus 0.593x plus 35.727 can be used to estimate the number of multi-generational households in country A in millions X years after 1940. In what year were there 50 million multi-generational households? So they're telling us that X is the number of years, and H of X is equal to a population, or the number of multi-generational households. So you're given this function, and then you're also given what our function is equal to. So to start setting this up, we change H of X into our 50 million. Okay, it is a quadratic since it is the second degree, so we're going to set this thing equal to 0 to be able to solve. So we do that by subtracting 50 from both sides, and if we do that, we get negative 14.273. So this is what our quadratic equation now looks like, and we're ready to use the calculator and the quadratic formula. So our quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now we use this when we have a quadratic that's set equal to 0 and we're trying to find the x values that make it equal to 0. So plug in your values for a, b, and c. So we have a, b, and c. Plug it into your quadratic formula. So this equals a negative 0.593 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 0.0593 squared, and when we square it, it'll become positive, minus 4 times our a of 0.012 and c of negative 14.273. And this is all over 2 times a, and our a was 0.012. So now we have it set up. We're ready to plug this all in our calculator. I am going to start with the stuff that is inside the parentheses. So go ahead and do that, underneath the radical sign. So do negative 0.593 squared minus 4 times 0.012 times negative 14.273. So everything that's underneath the radical sign is in my calculator. So I get that x is equal to 0.593 plus or minus the square root of 1.036753. And don't forget, this is all over 2 times 0.012. So we have a plus and minus here. We have this as two separate answers. So I'm going to start by evaluating the numerator for the plus. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 0.593 plus the square root. So your square root button is right there over the square. And that value that we just got for the stuff that was underneath the radical sign. So if you'll do second and the negative sign, it'll bring back up the last thing you got as an answer in your calculator. So if you hit enter, this is the value we get, and that's just for the numerator, and this is with the plus sign. We'll get 1.6112 over 2 times 0.012. Now divide the 1.6112 you got in your calculator, divide it, so just hit divide, and it will bring up this number exactly, so don't ever actually take that out of your calculator. And then type in what your denominator says, 2 times 0.012. and you get an x value of 67.133, or 134. But it says round to the nearest year, so that would just be 67 years. Okay, we can do that same thing with the minus sign, and if you didn't know, you can call back up stuff in your calculator, just hit second enter. What I'm doing is going back to this stuff that was underneath the radical sign. So hit enter. Remember that was 1.036753, or you can use the number that you wrote down here. And we're going to evaluate this for the negative sign. So 0.593 minus second square root, so get the square root, and then second answer. So this is my numerator, negative 0.4251, all over 2 times 0.012. Do the division, so divide by your denominator, 2 times 0.012. And I get x is equal to negative 17. Well, negative 18 if I round. But either way, it doesn't matter because x is supposed to be the number of years after 1940. So the negative 18 would be the number of years in front of 1940. So this negative solution is not part of our answer. It's not possible. So x is equal to 67. Take that and add it to 1940. And in 2007, there will be 50 million multi-generational households.